Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to conservation and careful management of the state's forests to make them more resilient and better habitats for wildlife. ChooseWood.com.
This is St. Louis on the Air from St. Louis Public Radio. I'm Elaine Cha. If you've spent time on America's roadways over the last 87 years, maybe you've been lucky enough to have spotted a certain 27-foot-long, 6-ton vehicle cruising down the highway that looks like a hot dog. Of course, that's just what it is. And you're right, I'm talking about the iconic Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. Now, if you've never seen this tubular meat on wheels, you're in luck. It will once again roll into the St. Louis area this weekend. What's different and really neat about it this time is that its driver grew up in STL. Mary Clare Kammer is 23 years old, a recent graduate of the University of Missouri, and a native of Kirkwood. I spoke with her earlier about the experience.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mary Clare Kammer. I'm so excited to be here.
We first have to address Wienermobile news, and that is that earlier this year, the Heinz Kraft Company changed the name. So it's no longer the Wienermobile, it's the Frankmobile. Why is that?
Yes, so we did have a name change this year, which is so exciting. After 87 years of celebrating the Wieners, we are now putting a little spotlight on the Franks. So we did have a new recipe come out for our all-beef Franks, which is the only reason for the name change.
Okay. And people have been quite passionate about the change, right?
Absolutely. We've had some people come up and embrace it, some people not so much, but we're seeing if it cuts the mustard.
Okay. Now, the Frankmobile itself, it also looks a little different this year. And of course, no one's going to mistake it for something else. So what's changed on this yellow and orange vehicle?
Yes, so we have some decals on the side that do say it is the all-beef Frankmobile. So that is really the only change to the vehicle itself. We still have our license plates. I know the South team, our license plate says, "Oh, I wish," which is from the jingle, "Oh, I wish I were an Oscar Mayer Wiener." So the jingle has not changed. And we still relish the Wienermobile.
Okay. Now, we also noticed that there's a polite request near the rear of the hot dog, which reads, "Please do not lick." So, I mean, was people licking it a problem?
We do like to say it does look delicious, but we have it there just for fun.
Doing this job, how did you even become aware of the opportunity?
So, in my sophomore year at the University of Missouri, I was in one of my marketing classes. And at the end of class, there was a flyer that said, "Looking for Wienermobile drivers." And my mouth dropped. I was like, no way, that is a real job. I have seen it throughout every homecoming parade at Mizzou. It has been a big part of that. And I did my research and I said, you know what, I'm going to make this dream a reality. And I looked into doing info sessions throughout my time at Mizzou, because you do have to have a bachelor's degree. And when it came time to apply, out of 2,000 other applicants, I did cut the mustard.
And what do you think it was that helped you do that?
I think it was my persistence. I put my name in there many times at the info session. I reached out to previous hot doggers about their experience. And, the thing that kept coming back was when they explained the mission of the Wienermobile. It was to make people smile. And that was the reason that the Wienermobile had started in the first place. Mm-hmm. And I thought, you know what, that is the job for me.
So you said that the Wienermobile the Frankmobile makes appearances at homecoming. Is there some special relationship that Mizzou has to the Wiener or to Oscar Mayer?
There is no special relationship. However, the Oscar Mayer Kraft Heinz plant, where all Oscar Mayer hot dogs are made, is in Columbia, Missouri.
Oh,
So we find ourselves traveling through there quite often.
Okay.
But it has been coming through the University of Missouri homecoming for quite a long time.
okay. So you said that sophomore year is when you first learned about the opportunity. So there was some time between that and the time that you actually applied. 27 feet and 6 tons, that's a lot of hot dog to handle. What is it like to drive this Frank on wheels? Like, did you have to get a commercial driver's license as part of your application?
Absolutely. So we did not have to get a commercial driver's license, our CDL, but we like to say we earned our HDL at Hot Dog High, which is our 2-week training that we did back in June. So we learn how to drive the vehicle from ex-police officers. We go through extensive training on different obstacles we go through, and if we find ourselves in any situation, we will be able to get out of.
Was there any part of that training that was especially challenging?
Honestly, I think it was intimidating driving a 27-foot long hot dog at first. But now when you hit the hot dog highways and you're driving in it, it's like a parade every day. People are constantly smiling at you, waving. I see heads turn in ways I didn't know were possible. And it is a great feeling sitting behind the wheel.
What's the top speed on this hot dog?
So we are allowed to go 70 miles per hour, but we like to say that we haul buns, but we make sure we follow the speed limit.
And, you've had some practice now. People, do they slow down while you're driving? I mean, doesn't that make for sort of dangerous traffic conditions?
When we're driving, we drive just normally, and people do like to slow down. But as I said, we follow the speed limit, and, we have 2 drivers up to make sure that we're always looking in our rear view mirrors and ahead of us. So we're always aware of what's kind of on the road around us.
So this weekend, you are going to be making some stops in the St. Louis area. On Saturday, you'll be in Marthasville. Then on Sunday, you've got 2 stops. The first at South County Schnucks on Butler Hill Road. And then later on that same day at the Twin Oaks Schnucks in Baldwin. What is it that happens, Mary Clare, where you stop?
Yes, so at our events, we like to say we have buns of fun, and we invite people to come out. At our grocery store events, we have a dice game for everyone to play. So we will have them roll the dice, and if it lands on our 100% beef side of the dice, you will earn a free pack of all beef Franks. And then if not, we still have something special for you. But mainly when people come to our events, they are looking for our iconic Frank whistles. And I remember receiving my first whistle when I was little as well.
So what does a Frank whistle look like?
It is a red hot dog with an Oscar Mayer logo on it. So it kind of looks like a miniature version of the Frankmobile.
Oh, okay.
The Frank whistle has been around since 1952. So there have been many versions of the Frankmobile and special edition Frank whistles as well.
We're talking with Mary Clare Kammer, who is a Frankfurter with the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, now called Frankmobile. And she will be coming through the St. Louis area, which is where she grew up, over the weekend. So to this term Frankfurter, which sounds funnily to me like both a noun and a verb, it's a job that is a 1-year commitment. And that began just a few months ago. What's been your most memorable experience so far?
Oh my goodness. So we experienced something new in every state that we've been in. I believe we've been to 7 states and 16 cities so far. So we've had a lot of very special memories in each place that we've passed through. My first one was my second week on the road, and we were in actually Macon, Missouri, and someone left a note on our windshield and it had rained all night long, but that note still stayed put.
Oh.
And the note read, "We missed you. If you could mail an Oscar Mayer whistle to us, here is our address." And it ended up being a 5-minute drive down the road. So we picked up our stuff, and before we left town, we ended up stopping at their house, and it was a Sunday morning. And the father was outside, and he got his daughter and his wife to come out, and we got to personally deliver the whistle to them.
What a cool story.
It was so special, and just a quiet Sunday morning with just spending time with the family, showing them the vehicle. And, you never would expect the Oscar Mayer Frankmobile to show up in your driveway.
Right. Now, driving the Frankmobile into St. Louis is a homecoming for you, having grown up in Kirkwood, and then I hear that you went to Nerinx Hall in Webster Groves for high school. And on this trip, you're going to pull into your folks' driveway in the Wienermobile. Do they know?
I will be.
Yeah. Do they know you're coming in? Do your neighbors also know that this is going to be happening?
It might be a little bit of a surprise to my neighbors. I haven't really told anybody. Not really sure if my parents have told everyone on the block. I'm kind of just looking forward to spending time with my family. And it's very surreal for me because this has been a dream of mine for so long, and pulling it into my own driveway is incredible. I actually had the chance for some old hot dogers. We like to say they're expired meat now.
Oh, boy.
But they actually came to my house last year, and we did a visit with them, showed us the vehicle. And my friend Shelby, her name is Sizzlin Shelby, she told me, she goes, "We're not going to pull it into your driveway because we're going to wait for you to have that chance yourself."
Oh, that's sweet.
Now it's actually happening, and I could not be more excited.
Is your driveway big enough to handle this?
It should be. I think we're going to be okay. Maybe a half in, half out, but still pulling it in will be just fine.
So a fun fact here is that I have a son whose name is Oscar.
Oh my goodness.
And he came home from first grade last year singing that iconic song.
Oh, I'd love to be an Oscar Mayer wiener. That is what I truly like to be. 'Cause if I
So we had the treat, I think, of hearing this song over and over for a while. And I understand that you have like a family or childhood memory connected to that song too.
Absolutely. Yes. So when I was little, I used to sing the jingle with my dad, and he grew up in Chicago, actually. And so the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile would come to Chicago quite often because that is where it was founded. And it would come down his street with all of his 6 other siblings. And, it was important to him. It was a special memory, and it's been passed down through many generations, even to me. So it is special to sing that jingle. And actually, our Oscar Mayer Frankmobile now, if you press the horn, it plays the beginning of the jingle as well.
Oh, okay. So it'd be a good thing then for you to press the horn so that people can enjoy that.
Absolutely.
So this is all, clearly a lot of fun, but what you're doing is some serious, public relations and communications work. For instance, you had mentioned earlier about the bachelor's degree. Every Frankfurter applicant has to have a bachelor's, and recommended degrees are public relations, journalism, communications, advertising, and marketing. So, Mary Clare, which major did you graduate with? And, are there ways in which you feel like this job is, feeding you as a young professional?
Absolutely. So I actually graduated from the University of Missouri with an interdisciplinary study degree. My components were marketing, speech and communications, and English, and then I minored in business. But coming into this job, it is all about the mission of spreading smiles. and setting up events and giving whistles out and making those connections with people. But also a big part of it is booking our own hotels, pitching media in every city that we go to. And I have grown in myself. I didn't know I was good at things that I never knew I could be. And it really is an incredible learning experience, especially traveling to each city and talking with so many different types of people.
So the last question here has to do with learning for everyone. You've been trained to field all sorts of hot dog questions. So I know that we're going to get mail if I don't ask this bunning question, which is, why do hot dogs come in packs of 10 and buns in packs of 8?
Oh my goodness, that is a very good question that I don't have the answer to. I would like to know the same thing.
So we'll check back in with you maybe further along your tenure as a Frankfurter to see if you've
Absolutely
discovered the answer. Mary Clare Kammer is a Kirkwood native who's spending the next year as a Frankfurter driving around the country in an iconic Oscar Mayer Frankmobile, formerly known as the Wienermobile. Mary Clare, thanks for joining us today. It was wonderful to meet you.
It was so wonderful to meet you as well, and we'll catch up with you later.
Today's episode was produced by our executive producer, Alex Hoyer.
Audio engineering and podcast design by Aaron Dorr.
St. Louis on the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio. Understanding starts here.
St. Louis on the Air proudly supports local artists by using music from Life Creative Group.
Do you find yourself regularly listening to episodes of St. Louis on the Air? Suggest us to a friend you think might enjoy our conversations. And leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts on the App Store. It's the simplest way to help people discover our show. Thanks.
St. Louis Public Radio is a member-supported service of the University of Missouri St. Louis.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association. Missouri produces wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details on the variety of products made in the state are at choosewood.com.